Hi, you folks. Steve here, filling in this week. The Joan Rivers to Jesse Dollemore's Johnny Carson. Can we talk? Last night, Donald Trump spoke to supporters in Savannah, Georgia, and he made some outlandish promises.
But with the vision I'm outlining today, not only will we stop our businesses from leaving for foreign lands, but under my leadership, we're going to take other countries' jobs. Did you ever hear that expression before? Have you ever heard? That we're going to take other countries' jobs? It's never been stated before. We're going to take their factories, and we had it really rocking 4 years ago. We're going to bring thousands and thousands of businesses and trillions of dollars in wealth back to the good old USA. That's what we're going to be doing it, and doing it fast. And under my plan, American workers will no longer be worried about losing your jobs to foreign nations. Instead, foreign nations will be worried about losing their jobs to America. Going to bring them back. And it won't even be difficult. Your only worry will be deciding which job to take. There will be plenty of them. That will be your biggest problem. Darling, which company should I go with? We're going to bring them back, and we're going to bring them back at levels not to be believed, but you'll believe it in about 2 years from now. You're going to say, wow, that happened fast. You're going to have so many companies wanting to come in because this is where the money is.
I see we've reached the promise them anything phase of the Trump campaign. So let's dig into this. Don't you love how Trump can't help but dip everything he says in rancid xenophobia? He can't just promise we're going to create a lot of good American jobs if I get elected. He's got to say we're going to take jobs from other countries. We're going to take their factories. We're going to leave their people unemployed and destitute. And then we're going to stop them from coming here to take back their old jobs, because that's not why we took the jobs, so they could come over here and do them. We took the jobs so that Americans could do the jobs while the people in other countries died in the streets like dogs. It's going to be beautiful. We'll make it happen. And it'll be easy. He always says that, doesn't he? He always says that everything he wants to do is going to be easy. He says all these jobs coming back to America, it will happen quickly and it won't be difficult. He always brags about how easy his plans will be to implement. He's supposedly a super business genius, but also everything he does is easy and takes no time at all. If someone tells you they're a genius and that they know what to do, but they're constantly bragging about how easy and quick and effortless everything they want to do is going to be, that's a sign that they're probably not a genius and they probably have no idea what they're doing. And also, they're probably lying to you. He then goes on to essentially promise infinite jobs, right? He says, you'll have so many job offers, the only problem you'll have is choosing which jobs you're going to take. Which, by the way, if there are that many available jobs, so many that each individual worker is fielding multiple job offers, that doesn't sound like a good economic situation. I remind you that I was an English major, not an economics major, so take this for what it's worth. But it seems to me that if we end up in a situation where there are more job openings than there are workers to fill them, wouldn't the next logical step be to try and attract immigrants to fill all of those available jobs for the good of the economy? Immigrants like the ones Trump is also promising to deport in historic numbers? You all, I'm starting to think this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. So he almost trips himself up at one point. I don't know if you noticed when he says that jobs will be coming back at levels not to be believed. No kidding. But then he hears himself, I guess. He has a momentary flicker of self-awareness, and he immediately tries to cover for it. And he says, but you will believe it. Jobs will be coming back in numbers that you won't be able to believe, but you'll believe it. It'll be real. It'll really be happening. And then he says that this is all going to happen in about 2 years. Now that is interesting because he says 2 years, but we all know that Donald Trump has a history of promising something that's going to happen in the future, and then it never happens. The best example of this is his healthcare plan. He has this great plan to replace Obamacare, to replace the Affordable Care Act, and he repeatedly promised this plan during his original presidential campaign, and then once he became president, and it was always just over the horizon, right? It's always right around the corner. And sometimes he would even attach a somewhat specific time estimate to it. Back in 2019, he famously said that his amazing new healthcare plan was almost done and it would be released in 2 months. And yet here we are, 5 years later, still no Trump healthcare plan. Concepts of a plan, allegedly, but no plan. And, if you do the math on that, you find that 5 years, which is how long we've actually been waiting, is 30 times as long as 2 months, which is how long he said we would be waiting when he said that back in 2019, which means that all we have to do in order to determine a realistic estimate for the actual minimum amount of time we can expect to wait for one of Trump's promised results to materialize is to multiply Trump's estimate by 30. So let's try that. Got my phone here with my calculator. I remind you, I was an English major, not a math major, so I do need a little technological assistance with this. So Trump said that American workers would have more job offers than they know what to do with in 2 years. So we just need to multiply 2 years times 30, English major, and that gives us 60. Okay? There's the proof right there. 60 years. That's how long we have to wait, at least, at minimum. That's how long we have to wait for Trump's promise of infinite jobs to materialize. So, good to know. Good to know that the job market will be doing so well in 60 years when I am 104. English major. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more of me, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Steve Shives and follow me on social media at the links listed below in the video description. Also, if for some reason you are not yet subscribed to this channel that you're watching right now, please subscribe to Dollemore's YouTube channel. You will not regret it. Remember, my fellow Americans, we have an election coming up on November 5th, so please, please, please double check your registration. And if you can do more, please do more, but at the very least, vote on November 5th. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.